Hello, let's take a look at spanning tree on EXOS. There is one default instance of spanning tree called S0. The show STP daemon S0 command shows us the configuration of this instance of spanning tree. Pay particular attention to the auto bind VLANs section of this output. At the moment it just shows default. The default VLAN 1 is bound to spanning tree. Even though we have created other VLANs, it is important that these VLANs are bound to spanning tree. If we don't do this and we add a port to a VLAN, it may be removed from spanning tree altogether and lose the protection of spanning tree and any features of spanning tree that you want to enable on the port. For example, if we do configure VLAN 101, add ports 6, the port gets moved from the default VLAN to VLAN 101 as expected. Then if we do show STP daemon S0 port 6, we can see that port 6 is not in the STP domain S0. It's not protected by spanning tree. In order to do this, where we automate moving from one VLAN to another and keeping in spanning tree, we need to make sure that the auto bind command is enabled. So we're going to enable STP daemon S0 auto bind VLAN 100 and also enable STP daemon S0 auto bind VLAN 101. Now when we do show STPD S0, we can see that our two VLANs are auto bound to the spanning tree domain. So when we do add ports to the VLANs, let's say we do the same again but for a different port. So we configure VLAN 101, add port 7. This is moved from the default VLAN to VLAN 101 as before. But when we do STPD S0 ports 7, port 7, S0 port 7, we can see it's participating in spanning tree because we can see spanning tree flags and there are features that we can turn on this port. It's protected by spanning tree. It's disabled at the moment just because the port's down. Now to do something like fast start on EXOS, we would just copy a single line with a range of ports, for example 1 to 10, and we will enable a feature called Edge Safeguard and BPDU Restrict, which is an equivalent of creating a fast start port configuration. Let's paste that in, and we do show STPD S0 ports, and we'll see that the edge ports have been set up on ports 1 to 10, and you can see what the flags mean below, but this is what we want to do for having an edge port configuration on EXOS, and we are protecting against loops with the BPDU restrict and the edge safeguard as well. So this is how we'd look at spanning tree in a bit more detail in EXOS. Make sure that we are auto bound to the spanning tree domain. So when we create new VLANs and move ports into those VLANs, spanning tree is kept on the ports and not removed from the port. Thanks for watching.